Anyways. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of NixCast, a weekly podcast about video games and other adjacent items. Tonight, joining me is Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
As always.
Just been hanging around in social distancing in my house, doing a lot of video editing, but I did manage to do a little gaming this week. Played some Overcooked 2 with Katie, and as well as Kyle. Me and Kyle played some DLC packs last night. Got pretty crazy. But
not good.
Not too much other than that, really. Just hanging out, taking it easy.
Also joining me tonight is Kyle. How's it going, Kyle?
Hi. Going good. Been catching up on all the movies I didn't get a chance to watch during October, so I'm still watching horror movies in November because I exist and horror movies exist, so I'm going to watch them. I've been watching a bunch of really cheesy horror movies this week. Finishing up some Chex Quest HD with my little one. We unlocked all the characters after realizing that you don't actually unlock and play them. You actually have to put in codes from the backs of bags of Chex Mix. So thank you, Internet, for providing those codes for me so I don't have to buy all the types of Chex Mix I don't like. Played some of that. Played some Shadowrun Returns because I can't play Cyberpunk, so I'm going to pump some of that into my veins. And some Deep Rock Galactic because, Left 4 Dead Minecraft is just super fun.
Cool. As always, I'm your host, Katie, and this week, I played some Overcooked with Mike. I'd never played it before, and it is stressful, but it's everything you want from a high-stress game, and nothing that you don't want. So we've been cranking through levels on that. What else did I do this week? I played some Watch Dogs Legions. I'm liking it so far, but it's like one of those things where you can't just like sit down and play like 30 minutes of it. Like you need like several hours to even get started. I don't know if it's just because I'm so bad at video games, but like it takes me like 15 tries to get anything done in that game. Like the spider bots are like so hard to control, and it's like you're trying to like use all the security cameras to make people go over the traps and stuff, and I just like I'm terrible at it for some reason. But thank God that they let you turn permadeath off. So
yeah.
Also I started playing a little bit of Pokemon Y. Not sure why I chose that one to start playing instead of any of the other Pokemon games I have, but I never played very much of this one, so I just wanted something easy to play on the DS, so I can like watch TV and play at the same time or whatever. I think that's about it.
Related to that Pokemon thing, you did hear that there's a rumor about Heart Gold and Soul Silver being remastered for the Switch. Yeah, that just dropped, I think, last few days.
That would make my life, because those... So I have Silver for Game Boy, or Game Boy Color, but... I guess I could play it on my GameCube and it wouldn't be that bad. Or the Super Nintendo, probably the GameCube. Do I have I don't know if I have a Super Game Boy.
I thought they were GBA games. Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Because they were the remakes.
Yeah, because they're the remakes of, so...
Of Gold and Silver. Okay, see, I'm not a Pokemon dude, so...
yeah, so I have Silver, but I would like to play Heart Silver, or Soul Silver, or Heart Gold, but they're stupid expensive. Stupid expensive. And I'm not really sure why, but, Kyle, you're the one that told me that you bought them for your kids, but you bought like clearly fake copies of it.
Yeah. So the versions, I got a copy of Heart Gold and a copy of Soul Silver for my kids whenever they were, it's a few years back now. It's been a while, but it was recommended to me. Like, I didn't know anything about Pokemon. They were interested. A friend of mine recommended. He said, if you're these are the intro games. These are the two that you should introduce somebody to. So Yeah, but when we got them, the one stopped working fairly shortly after, and I was just kind of checking it out, and I realized that it was not an official Nintendo card. I was like, this is definitely a repro. And the other, I think one of them was fine, the other one was a repro. So I'm not sure if I can't even remember now if I got them at the same retailer or whatever. I think I ended up picking up one from one place and one from another, so I got like a legit copy that works just fine, and then the repro, which worked fine for a while until I guess the battery died, and then it was just shot. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That was on the original DS, right?
I can't remember if it was DS or Game Boy Advance game, because I know
I think it's DS because
it could be.
I don't know, but yeah, so you guys are like 10 years older than me, so it would make sense that Pokemon was never really your jam because it was clearly made for kids, and you guys were not kids when it came out. So,
you're right. It is a Nintendo DS game.
Yeah. Okay. Thought so. That was my childhood right there, and you guys were like already in college or something. Yeah, I mean, like, that would have been, like, when I was, like, 12 or 13, so you guys would have been, like, 22, 23, like, okay, anyways. Yeah. So, this week, we got some exciting stuff to talk about. I'm going to start us off with a little review roundup from this week's embargo lift on the Xbox Series X and S, and also the PS5. And a couple, I'm just going to kind of summarize what I've read a lot of reviews and watched a lot of review videos, so I'm not going to like point you to any source or anything, but basically the overall consensus for the Xbox is that it's everything that it's supposed to be: fast load times, impressive graphics, impressive frame rates, all that good stuff, but it's really suffering from the fact that there's not a launch title, not a first-party launch title. No Halo Infinite, the Medium got delayed,
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk got delayed, which is what caused the Medium to get delayed, because it was supposed to come out that week in December, but it doesn't want to compete with Cyberpunk, so it got pushed to January. But I was actually really excited about that one, but I don't even like horror games, but it looked cool to me. Like, that was the most realistic cigarette I've ever seen.
The trailer did look cool for that one.
In the trailer. Yeah. But anyway, so everybody's saying that the Series X is a fantastic piece of hardware. It does everything you want it to do, but it doesn't have any games. So unless you're addicted to video games and it's your only passion in life like me, then there's no point in buying it early. And then the PS5 has said everybody likes it a lot, and the general consensus is that everybody kind of thought that the DualSense controller was just going to be a giant gimmick, and everybody is saying that it's not, and it's actually really cool, and functions as intended, and it's not like kitschy. So that's good. I'm excited about that. I need an extra sensation because my hand-eye coordination is dog shit terrible. So I'm excited about that. PS5, kind of the consensus is that if none of the games that are launching with it are your cup of tea, then also wait. So launch titles are Spider-Man, but that's also coming out on PS4, so if you don't have to upgrade to get it. Demon Souls, which if Demon Souls or Souls games are not your style, then there's no point in buying it for that. Personally, Souls games are not my style because I suck at video games, and I can't hit the button once. I have to hit it 5 times, and it's a whole ordeal. But I'm gonna try to play Demon Souls anyways, so we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know next week.
So would
yeah.
What for the Xbox I guess you wouldn't consider Assassin's Creed like a launch title because it's coming out like same day.
It's third party. It's missing a first party launch title. But I think is Assassin's Creed also coming out on current gen too?
Yeah, I do believe it is. Yeah,
there's your
it's
thing.
coming out for everything.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, typically it is nice for them to put a bundle together with the launch. You know, you see that a lot, and you don't see that this year. I think I got Titanfall or something with my one. You know,
Maybe, but
yeah, I think that like. I usually you used to see those all the time when they would bundle their launch title with the console.
Not at
system launch. Like, it's been a while since system launch. Like there's definitely bundles.
My Xbox One X I bought with Fallout 76 because it was $100 cheaper than any other Xbox I could buy at the time. Version. Because they're like literally paying me to take a copy of Fallout 76. So
free on Game Pass.
Well, I'm pretty sure, that Titanfall was at launch, because I bought, at launch.
Was it? Interesting.
So, pretty sure. I can go look that up.
And that may have been a store bundle, but I don't remember there being. And I could be mistaken. I just can't remember. It's typically been like core systems at launches. With like maybe if like you go to like Costco or something, I know sometimes they have like I think Costco's running a deal in the Series X where it's the Series X and an extra controller in a bundle together, but it's not.
GameStop
it's not an
running
official
some
bundle.
models too.
Yeah, I mean it's store specific bundles, but it's not like a proper bundle. It's not proper packaging bundle. It's not like with Katie's Xbox Series X or like the Spider-Man PS4 and those kinds of things.
And my Death Stranding PlayStation 4 Pro. Sorry. I was going to say something else about packing game. Oh, well, all the PS5s are coming with Astro's Playroom. That's the name of it. Coming preloaded on the hardware. So that's a pack-in title. There you go.
Is it because of the DualSense features in there, or?
So everybody was kind of speculating that it was going to be like kind of more of like a tech demo for the DualSense, but it's like gotten reviews and stuff like on Metacritic, so it's like a legitimate game. Everybody that I've like listened to or whatever has kind of said that it's like a whole game experience. It's not like
Link's crossbow challenge for the Wii.
Yeah, but I think it's probably more comparable to Wii Sports. Because, I didn't realize what Wii Sports was when I was a kid. I wasn't like, oh, this is a fun tech demo. I was like, this is a game. I need to beat all the best scores in boxing. I need to figure out how to do this bowling. Tennis. You got to beat Matt in tennis, like the Matt.
That was totally a pack-in title, too, wasn't it? So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
That might
have been the last pack-in title that we've gotten. When's the last time that we got a pack-in title at launch?
See, at launch is weird because I feel like a lot of companies do really well with those pack-ins down the road. Because it's like, I know, for example, when I was a kid, whenever we got our Sega Genesis, it was still like a Gen 1 model Sega Genesis, but it came with like Buster Douglas's boxing, some random football game, and I think a basketball game, Buster Douglas boxing, and Altered Beast. Like, it was such a weird combo of games that I'd have to look it up now, but anyway.
Did you look up the Titanfall thing, Mike?
Yep, I got it. That was the special edition bundle I got when it was released.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I'm hoping, because the last two Xboxes I got, the 360 at launch and I got the One at launch. I'm just really excited about this new Series X at launch because every time I get a new Xbox on launch day, I get a new Kinect. And I'm really excited about that Xbox Kinect.
Hate to tell you, buddy, but you're not getting the Xbox Kinect. As a matter of fact, your current Kinect is not even going to work with your Series X. I know.
Honestly, the whole reason I kept the Kinect hooked up for as long as I did was because it had a microphone on it, and you could use the mic, and you could sit down and be like, Xbox pause, and Xbox would pause, and Xbox play, Xbox would play when you're watching Netflix, Xbox power on, or Xbox turn off, and that was all I did with my Kinect was, and this was before you had Alexa or any of those other things to turn on your smart things. This was the first edition of voice feature for your console, and that was the coolest thing I got out of it, was that it had a microphone on it.
The Kinect had a lot of potential, but it just fell really flat. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a single Kinect game that I would say, you know what I would love to play again is X, and I got Star Wars. I'm sorry, Star Wars Kinect. How could I forget the best Kinect game that ever existed?
With the Kinect, the coolest thing I saw with the Kinect was I saw people use it on those ghost hunter shows. Whenever they're trying to find ghost outlines. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but my daughter watches them all the time, and they use those type of cameras to like see, map out like aspirations.
I imagine
in rooms, and it's
a modded.
It's really cool. Who knows if it's real or not? But that's the coolest thing I've seen somebody actually do with the Kinect.
It's not.
Well, you can't tell my daughter that because she watches every single episode.
But it's not real.
But she's gonna listen to this podcast. So
let her believe in something,
Sorry.
Kyle.
You can believe in ghosts.
I never had a Kinect, but I do remember playing Dance Central on the Kinect in Walmart or something, when it was new, and it was like, yeah, this is fun. And it's like, it's not really that. It was like Just Dance, but in Just Dance, all it does is like figure out the motion from your Wii remote. And then in Dance Central, it was like you had to move your whole body. It's like, I can't do that move. What do you?
My girls still they are still annually getting the version on Switch, and like they play that into the ground. They love it
Just
on
Dance?
the Switch. Just Dance on the Switch with those, because the Switch modes just do perfect with all the, like, I don't know, it seems to sync up really, really well. But they love it. I get it. I get that. It's not for me. I wasn't a DVR guy back in the day, which that's a whole. You want to talk about crazy peripherals? Crazy peripherals. There are some insane Dance Dance Revolution peripherals. Like, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. We had Just Dance. We had a lot of Just Dance, but I was like,
there it is.
I was like the same age as your kids. So when I was playing Just Dance, so like it was fun. But it was like something like me and my mom could play together on our Wii. So
I think I have the, because on Android you can get I'm sure it's on iOS too. You can get like the app for the phone, and I could play with them on Just Dance with the app through my phone, and it would do all this. It would do all the same stuff a Wiimote would do, or a Switch Mote would do.
So another interesting thing about the Xbox and PS5 review roundup, it looks like the all the backwards compatible games that were tested, the Xbox Series X actually has faster load times than the PS5, even though the PS5 SSD is supposed to be twice as fast as the Xbox SSD. So we were talking about this earlier, and I think it's just because no games have been optimized for the PS5 yet, and I'm hoping that problem will solve itself. But honestly, SSDs are so much faster than hard drives that it doesn't even matter. Like if it's 12 seconds on the PS5 and 8 seconds on the Xbox Series X, it's still so much faster than the whole minute it takes on your PS4. Yep. So I'm not too concerned about that. But the fanboys are like, ow. But
and we didn't mention Quick Resume, did we? That was the other feature.
Oh no, we didn't.
Yeah,
that was the other thing. The PS5 it feels like there's a void for the reviewers that have gotten both systems. The PS5 is sorely missing a Quick Resume compatible or comparable thing. The Quick Resume is great. So we were talking about this earlier about what Quick Resume actually is. is just shoving all the data into the SSD, and there's no reason why PlayStation can't do that. And I'm sure that they will come along with something eventually. Yeah, so we'll see. But Quick Resume is going to be fantastic, especially for multi-gamer households like we all have. You know, if Mike's daughter's playing Minecraft and then Mike wants to, like, play Overcooked 2 with us, which seems ridiculous, but he can leave his daughter's Minecraft running, you know, so good stuff. Just one more little tidbit information. We got Microsoft revealed that it spent well over 500,000 hours testing gameplay across the entire Xbox backwards compatible catalog to ensure that the user experience was as best as possible. That's
how do I get that job?
Crazy, I know, but that's crazy how much money they put into, like, that's insane. Like, can you imagine? Like, that is like
genius. It's absolutely genius.
They're just giving that to us. Like, I can't believe it.
So, but
like,
so this just gives us the ability to play those games, right?
Right.
It's not that we're getting all these titles at launch or anything like that. And it's, you know, Game Pass definitely has a significant amount of these titles, yes, but it's just the fact that they're going back and optimizing these titles to run off that hardware. Like, no company has cared more about backward compatibility than it seems than Microsoft with Xbox has. Like, there's never been this kind of... we're going back to Xbox. Like, we're literally going back 3 generations down in games. Like, you can go and play KOTOR. KOTOR's an Xbox. Yeah, KOTOR's an Xbox game that's on here. I know that is. But, like, that's nuts. I love that.
Or Morrowind.
It's Jade Empire one. Do you know?
I'm sure it is, because it's a BioWare game, right?
Yeah.
So
BioWare Kung Fu game.
I can't imagine.
It's fun.
I can't imagine BioWare being like, yeah, you can have Mass Effect and also KOTOR, but you can't have Jade Empire. I don't know.
I didn't know. It could just be licensing or whatever. But yeah, it's that. I mean, this is nuts, dude. That's a lot of dedication to a feature that a feature that is not necessary but definitely appreciated by everyone, I can think. Like,
well, when you don't have a launch title, you kind of need as much games to play on it as you can.
But it's basically just becoming a PC though at this point, right?
Like, what is their angle here? Like, how does this make them money? It doesn't. Unless it sells systems, like, that could be your argument, but honestly, Xbox games. Is not making... It sells games from GameStop and your mom and pop retro game studios. So, like, you can buy Morrowind Digital Edition on your Xbox Series X.
Yeah. But, no, think about this, right? So let's just say, case in point, I'm sitting there one day playing on my Xbox Series X, and I'm like, oh... I wonder if this old Xbox, like Jade Empire, like, I'd love to play Jade Empire again. And I can go and buy, like, obviously it's not a Game Pass or whatever, if it's not, etc. And it's like, oh, well, but you can get it for $15-$20. I will totally pay $15-$20.
You can get it for $15 or $20 online? Like, on the Xbox storefront?
This is just, no, from the storefront. If I can get a digital copy that I know runs on my Series X... And I can go, okay, cool. I just go buy it, download it straight from them, etc. And it's optimized to run. I keep saying optimized to run. Obviously, I'm not expecting these to be HD remakes, etc. That's not my expectation. I don't expect that. These are made to run, because I do know that in the next article that we had mentioned that, you know, they're saying that, you know, the Series X might be a little too fast for The Witcher 3, where the fast travel in Witcher 3 now is so fast that you're actually fast traveling and the game takes a second to catch up to it. It's that fast that the game was built to have a longer lag in between there, so it can't quite catch up, and it takes a stuttering second for it to get there.
Oh man, that looks bad. Sorry, I just watched that video, but yeah, whatever. I'm all for it. That's
oh yeah.
That's awesome. But
Love it.
speaking of BioWare, Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect Trilogy getting a re-release, remaster. I'm excited about it. I attempted to play Mass Effect a couple months ago, and it's like this weird, the combat is like this weird, like halfway between like a CRPG and an ARPG, and it just like is trash. But I want to like get the story because I heard that the second one is like the greatest game of all time, but I'm not going to jump into the second game without knowing the story from the first game because that's just the type of person I am. So I'm looking forward to this remastered trilogy. Maybe it'll get some like little quality of life improvements.
Maybe. It depends on what they try to do with it, because I've played Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. I did not play 3 on purpose, as I didn't want to. And Katie and I discussed this.
Trash.
It's not that the game's trash. It wasn't that. It was the fact that...
No. I heard the ending was trash for the third one.
This is my problem, is the Mass Effect games, starting from the first one, you make all these choices that carry over into the second one. You make all these choices that carry over into the third game. And then at launch, when the game came out, it doesn't matter what you've done. There's this ending. Like, everything comes to the same ending. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what? I'm done. I'm not going to spend another 50, 60 hours or however long to get through Mass Effect 3 when all the decisions I've made don't matter. Like, what's the point of all the things I did? And, like, there are multiple, like, towards endings for the second one. Like, there's multiple endings for the second one. I purposely played it a certain way to ensure that I could save everybody, to save all the people at a certain point in the game. And, like, I did it a certain way, and I just... And the mechanics, like, and Katie said she played the first one, and like, because the first one really does play like my first strategy, like a very basic strategy kind of RPG of taking, like, it can be played to take turns and things like that, and move camera around, move guys around. It played more like a strategy game, and it's not a shooter. The first one is not a shooter. The second game got more streamlined into that. The third game even more so, with like multiplayer and all this other stuff that was added in. But that series kind of, like Fallout and a lot of other series, as they've moved on in time, and Skyrim, they kind of like, well, let's get rid of more of this, less RPG element here, less decision thing here, and just make it focus on, the gameplay is just, like, even the weapon optimization system in the first game versus the second game is extremely stripped down, where it's like, well, you have a gun. You won't get another sniper rifle. You have a sniper rifle, but you might unlock some, like, mods for it later on, but that's it. So it was kind of... I don't know that I'll replay it, but I'm glad that other people can go on that adventure.
Yeah, I think that the market for this one is kind of like more geared towards people like me who have heard nothing but good things about this game, but are either too young or were not into gaming when that game was out. And so now we have an opportunity to go back and play it, and it's not too antiquated. And I'm hoping that there are a little bit of quality life improvements, just because the game does feel pretty dated.
Yeah.
But, everybody's like, oh, you gotta play Mass Effect. You gotta play Mass Effect. So good. It's the greatest game ever. And it's like, I tried. I tried really hard to like it. And then after I gave up on, this gameplay is just not good enough for me. I tried to watch like a Let's Play, and I couldn't find one that I really liked. And so I found one that I like tolerated, but it was just like, man, this is really boring. You're just watching this guy go around and talk to all these different aliens for like a whole 30, 45 minute episode is nothing but him talking to different aliens like on the ship or whatever.
It's pretty
and
much
it's like, yeah, I could see this being interesting if it was me, because I could skip the boring parts, but it's like you're watching somebody else do it and you're just like, ugh. So I'm looking forward to the remastered. And also, this was like the worst kept secret in gaming. For anybody that pays attention to gaming news, this has been rumored for 6 months. and that's kind of why I didn't like force myself to continue through my playthrough or the Let's Play I was watching, because I was like, they'll remaster it eventually. Like, this game's too well loved to not get a remaster at some point. Personally, I was hoping that KOTOR would get remastered first, but here we are.
I would prefer that. I would prefer KOTOR 1 and 2. Like, shut up and take my money. Just, I will gladly pay $60 per each to have remastered versions, no problem. 70 if it is, whatever.
That was another game I tried to play and it couldn't, but that was just because I didn't understand what like a computer RPG was. Like, it's based on D&D, and I don't have any D&D knowledge, so it was hard for me to like understand what like toughness was. And I was like I like stealth in Skyrim, I'm gonna pick stealth, and it's like, no,
not in that game.
No, no, like it does not like equate to like an action RPG, and so I gave up on it instantly.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it off the ship. Like, I didn't even get through the tutorial. I got through the tutorial in the second one, actually. It was because it was a little bit better, where you're like T3 and you're like going around the ship trying to fix shit. But
I would recommend skipping the first game and playing the second one at the very least.
So I watched a whole Let's Play on the first one, and it was entertaining. It was an entertaining Let's Play. Yeah. I think that was the biggest part with Mass Effect. It was that it wasn't an entertaining Let's Play. I couldn't find one that I thought was like entertaining for some reason, but this was an entertaining Let's Play for KOTOR, and it was a good time. I'd watch an episode in the morning before I went to work, and I'd watch one at lunch, and then I'd watch one like I get home from work and stuff. It was good. Like, I wanted to see more of it, and
of KOTOR, not of Mass Effect.
Right, of KOTOR.
Got you.
But also, I think the fact that I just had this profound love for Star Wars kind of kept me going too. Versus Mass Effect, it's like, I'm sure I could get into this universe, but like, I don't have any basis for it,
I would recommend trying the second one, trying to find just like a summary video of the first one, because yes, it's important, yes, whatever, but that second game, like, even though they stripped out a lot of mechanics that like RPG stuff I wish was still there, that story is so good, and like the romance elements that BioWare does so freaking well, like, that game is genuinely about romancing everybody, trying to have relations with everybody on your squad. It's just like, well, hey, big bug guy, how you doing? Come on, let's go. Or like, Jack is one of my favorite characters. Like, in a lot of games, I will say Jack from Mass Effect 2 is just an awesome character. She was very, very cool.
Well, KOTOR just had these like fantastic parts, like, where you can like make characters do like some really shitty things to each other. I just love that. That's something else I've been playing this week. I'm finally getting to the end of my second playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and like you can recruit characters that don't normally belong in your house, and then at the end you're like legitimately going to war with other houses. And so I like recruited this guy. Have either of you played this game? I know Mike hasn't because he doesn't have a Switch.
I'm not a Fire Emblem guy.
Yeah, but it's more of like, it's more JRPG-y than like the rest of the Fire Emblem series. But it's really good. It's actually sold more than the rest of any of the other games too.
More than the FE Mirage?
Yes.
Okay.
More than all of them. I don't know if it's overall or just in the West. That's something But anyways, so there's this character, Felix, who's like the awesome, best character in the game. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, but you're wrong. Felix is the best character in the game. He belongs in the blue house, and I was playing as the red house. I played the blue house my first walkthrough, or playthrough, and I'm in the red house now, and I picked the Crimson Flower route. No spoilers, but people who played the game would know what I'm talking about. And you could recruit Felix, and so basically you get to make Felix kill his father and his like best friend, and he's like happy about it. And it's like in KOTOR when you get to make Karth kill his son, and then you get to make Mission and Zalbar kill each other. It's fantastic. I love it. And it's like, is that in Mass Effect? I want to know. I'd be more inclined to play it if you could make people who naturally love each other to kill each other and hate each other.
It has been it's been a decade since I played those games. I'm trying
All right,
to remember.
let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I got nothing, sorry.
Mike, we haven't heard from you in a while. Have you played any of the Mass Effect games? Care to play them?
I was about in your field, made it through the tutorial, and that was about as far as I wanted to go. I was like, I'm not doing any more of this.
Yeah.
For the first one.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know. You just like don't have time for that kind of stuff. No. It's a time sink.
One day I'll convince Mike to play a Fallout game, but it's not happening anytime soon.
You've never played any of the Fallout games?
Well, see, all the Fallout games came when I was in that decade of college period where I didn't have any time to play anything. So, next Fallout game comes out, I plan on 100%ing.
I remember staying up late one night, cramming for a final in college, and literally going, okay, well, my final's at 8 in the morning, and I need to rotate between studying for an hour, playing Fallout 3 for an hour, and I just went back and forth until it was time to go to class, and then I went and I passed my exam, but still. I had to get my Fallout 3 in.
We did college very differently.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, Mike, you should play New Vegas. It's on Game Pass, I think. It is. It's on Game Pass. I looked last night. It's a fantastic game. You can't 100% it because you can't finish one faction's quest without failing the other faction's quest.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And you can put as much or as little time in it as you want. I'm not even sure if there is a story that ends. Like a main quest line. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, there's the thing about the chip.
In New Vegas?
Because it's like, yeah, because like you...
And then depending on how you go, that whole thing ends in many different ways.
Yeah, but I just like don't remember like an ending. Maybe I just like avoided doing a final quest for that.
I remember lots of the endings. It's just a matter of the Fallout 4 ones are closer in my brain because I've done those more recently.
I didn't make it through the campaign or for the main mission in Fallout 4.
I got all the story achievements for it on Fallout 4.
Like when you're trying to find your son. That's all I got.
You're playing as Michael from Lost. My son. If you never saw Lost in that reference, yeah, it's all that dude ever did was complain about his son being missing for like the duration of his run on that show. It was like every episode he's like, don't forget my son's missing. It's like, all right, Michael, we'll get it. Your son's missing. It's cool. We'll find him.
I just skipped the finale of that series and I didn't see the hype.
I watched it after the fact and I loved every second of it.
I remember seeing a couple episodes like when it was coming out, but it was like I couldn't commit to like, watching it every
Sean's
week
gonna be
or
pissed
whatever.
he's not talking in this.
I can hear Sean screaming. I'd be like, defend that shit. I will. That's a hill I'll die on. I think Lost is fine. Tell me what you think in the comments, but I will cross that. I will die on this hill. Lost is good. It's fine.
Tell us what you think about the Lost finale in the comments. Got it.
I don't consider myself a contrarian, but I do this thing where when a TV show is really popular and everybody loves it, I'm like, sounds lame as shit. I'm not watching it.
But I watched it on Netflix
cool
years later,
to
man.
watch that. Like I was that way about Orange is the New Black. I was that way about Lost. I was that way at first about Game of Thrones, but then I saw the error of my ways when me and Mike started working together. And they all bullied me into watching Game of Thrones.
And then she read all the books.
Yeah. Well, then I had fresh HBO access at that point, which I had not had priorly. And everybody was like, "Oh, you can just stream it on the internet." And it's like, I don't want to get more viruses on my computer. Are you kidding me? But, yeah, Orange. I didn't really care for Orange is the New Black. Honestly, like I got through like season 3 or something. And I was just kind of like stopped watching. I was like, I thought this was gonna be funny. It's like not a funny show. Like, I mean, it's got funny moments, but like.
I haven't. I think I've watched the first 2 seasons of Orange is the New Black, but I will. It's good. I like it. from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, it was all the rage like my freshman year of college, and then it's like
I can see that.
And and then I was just like,
been a while, hasn't it?
I didn't even touch it until my senior year of college.
So now you're just watching The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Star Wars, you can't punk me down for anything Star Wars. Yeah, give me more Star Wars. Isn't there a new season of Rebels coming out at some point?
I still haven't watched.
Did you watch?
I know, dude.
Did we talk about this already?
We have. I have watched none of Clone Wars. I have watched none of the animated stuff. Like, you have to, like, I missed the boat on, and I had somebody ask me recently, hey, you like Star Wars? Have you ever seen Clone Wars? And the answer's no. So I know, like, there's some references I'm missing.
Yeah. How did you see Solo?
Nope. No, I refuse to see Solo because they're...
don't see it until you see Clone Wars, or else you'll be very confused at the end, like I was, when a certain character who is supposedly dead makes an appearance.
I know about Spider-Boy.
Yeah.
I know about Spider-Boy.
I watched Rebels first, which was a mistake, I want to say, because there was a lot of things in Rebels that were kind of pointed back to Clone Wars, about that same character mostly, that I was super confused about, but my boyfriend had already seen Clone Wars all the way through, and so he was like, oh, it's just from Clone Wars. And there's a lot of characters that are in Clone Wars that end up in Rebels, but Kyle, I think you would like Rebels better, because there is like, here's a little Princess Leia cameo, here's like a old Ben Kenobi cameo, like, it's because it takes place like prior to A New Hope.
Okay, so Rebels is prior to A New Hope, and Clone Wars is obviously during the Clone Wars, which...
Yeah, it's in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
And now
I've been meaning to go back and watch that.
And then now it's kind of like intermingling with Revenge of the Sith, because of the last season. Like, Padme's like pregnant in it. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We do have new news this week, I believe, about a new... Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series starting in March of 2021.
Yeah.
Filming? Starting
filming in March. It's Ewan McGregor, I think, is...
Yeah, he's playing, reprising his role.
And he announced
fantastic
it.
Anakin, you were my brother! Like, I've never felt emotion like that before.
So much.
I've never felt emotion like that before. All right, we're just going to talk about Star Wars every episode from now on.
So thanks for joining us on episode 3 of the Star Wars podcast. And
we said video game adjacent, okay?
It is totally. Star Wars is totally video game adjacent. Do you want me to go down the list?
I mean, we got here as we were talking about KOTOR, right? I don't know.
We did. We slippery rabbit holes.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a cute little segue to get into any of our remaining topics, and I cannot think of one at all. So here you go. No segue. Next topic. Nintendo is releasing, not Nintendo, Hori, which is a great third-party controller company. One of the only good third-party controller companies, is releasing an accessibility controller for the Nintendo Switch. Xbox had one of these a few years ago, and this is awesome.
Well, it's important to note with Hori too that Hori is the official Nintendo. Like, they are officially licensed by Nintendo, which is
so it's more like second party, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe now they do PDP as well? May also be. I could be wrong. But I know Hori is like officially licensed. They do officially licensed. They've done amazing controllers for years, but now like they have a deal with Nintendo for the Switch, and they make a lot of official stuff for them.
Like going all the way back to like the Wavebird, I want to say was
that a Hori?
Or maybe it's just another GameCube controller that's like.
The Wavebird was the big wireless one. That absolutely was the wireless one, but I don't know.
I want to say that one was Hori, but I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Or Kyle can look it up right now.
I can look it up right now.
But I know that Hori has. I think they might even have like one of the only decent Nintendo 64 replacement controllers, because you know how Nintendo 64 controllers are, right, Mike?
Yes. Fantastic.
I don't know if they made the Wavebird. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think I'm misremembering that, but
like we've used some Hori products in my house. There's some Switch stuff, and it's legit. Like you can't. It works. Like it's just as good as the Nintendo brand stuff. Like I think my kids have the wireless GameCube controller that they made.
yes, we
And
have one
like
of those too.
my one daughter is in love. She just loves the GameCube controller, and she's so happy that now she can have, because we got a Wavebird, but we don't have an adapter. So I'm trying to figure all that out. Yeah,
Those are expensive.
I'm aware. That's why she's like,
I wanna get one so
she's like, I
bad.
really want Santa to bring me this for this year, and I'm like, oh man, we'll see.
I want to get a Wavebird so bad, but every time I see him, it's like $150, and it's like, ugh, it's like, is it worth it to be able to not have to move my GameCube and sit on a certain place in my game room to play the GameCube?
Or should you just get an extender for your controller?
Yeah, but then I'm like really clumsy, so I'm like tripping over cords and shit.
Fair.
I almost broke our Super Nintendo because I thought I was literally watching myself do it, and I like picked my foot like way up to get over the controller cord because my boyfriend was playing the Super Nintendo, and I still got one of my toes stuck in it and like almost ripped the system out of the wall. I don't know how I did it. I was watching my feet the entire time, and I still don't know how it happened.
So this Switch though, this Hori.
But this is funny, Mike.
This Hori Flex Switch that they're releasing though is it. Like you said, it's very similar to the Xbox adaptive controller that was released a few years ago, and it can be set up for just about anything. But I love this just because video games are for everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Like this stuff always hits home with me. I had a friend I used to work with whose brother was wheelchair bound, and like stuff like this didn't exist then, and he would just watch his brother play. His brother would literally just play WoW with him, and he would just tell me, what you want to do, and like he would be his brother's hands and stuff, so his brother could enjoy it as well. And I love that, but like stuff like this, that it gives somebody the ability to be able to play a game. It's great.
The accessibility factor.
The accessibility factor is fantastic. It makes me happy.
I think another thing, this doesn't really have anything to do with this controller, but it has to do with accessibility. Like I've said several times on this podcast, I'm like dog shit terrible at video games. And the only reason I was able to make it through a certain hard part in Last of Us 2 was by turning on some of those accessibility features. I was already playing on easy mode, on story mode, or whatever the easiest one is, and I still had to turn on some extra accessibility features to get through that part. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with me. Well, no. That's up for discussion, but I just am so bad that I need help. And I'm a little concerned because PlayStation put all these Naughty Dog put all these accessibility features in Last of Us 2. They did the same thing with like Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy, which are kind of like, within a couple years of each other. And so PlayStation's like supporting Naughty Dog doing this, and it's like, yay, accessibility, like everybody should be able to play games. But then they turn around and have Bluepoint over here like, Demon's Souls doesn't need an easy mode. It's like, I want to be able to enjoy a Dark Souls game, and I can't, because I can't play them.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And, there's people that have physical issues that also can't enjoy these games. I just think it's kind of mixed messaging from Sony on this, as far as like, do we want everybody to play our games, or do we not want everybody to play our games? Like, there's no way that somebody that needs to have an accessibility controller like this can like have the response times needed for a Dark Souls game. I think it's kind of messed up. Like, can there be like a half speed or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
There's got to be some answer. And I know it's kind of different because it's like Dark Souls, like, the combat is the game. There's not like a story for the most part. I mean, that kind of is, but like, I don't know. I just like want to see what I want to be able to like enjoy the game, and everybody's like, "This is the best game ever. This game's so much fun." Like, I want to be able to do that, and I'm really concerned. Sorry, I'm rambling again, but Elden Ring, whenever that comes out, is from FromSoft, which is the Dark Souls company. But George R.R. Martin, the author of Game of Thrones, is writing the story for that one, which means there is going to be a story. But if it's as hard as Dark Souls, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to watch somebody on the internet play the game.
I mean,
which is all well and good, but
yeah, and like
it's not the same.
I get that. I tried Dark Souls. I gave my try for that, but and see, it's weird with this accessibility stuff where like we see these, like you're saying, like these good things in games. Like I was playing Watch Dogs Legion recently, and in that I have it set to where I'm a big subtitle person. Like,
yeah, I am too.
I have to turn subtitles on in everything. It's just how I roll in my house. Like my wife is a little hard of hearing, so I kind of got used to just turning them on for everything, and I kind of got used to reading as I play and listen and everything. It's just whatever. It's how I like to do it. But also in there, I didn't realize I had turned on a mode where like the sounds have directions. Like it has a direction and telling me which direction the sound is coming from as well. So it's like, oh, you know, you hear this person talking, they're back into the left of you. And then, you know, oh, this car crash sound was up here. It was kind of neat to see that little accessibility node. And I was like, oh, that's actually really helpful for me, because sometimes I hear a sound and I can't quite figure where it's coming from. But it's, yeah, and I don't know if, like, I'm trying to think if with Nintendo having this thing, with Xbox having this thing, those things are going to carry forward to the next gens of systems, I'm sure. Like, them having these things and making accessibility is, like, obviously, like, you know, gaming is for everybody. But certain games like Dark Souls definitely have that difficulty factor where it's just, like, it's get good. It's a get good mentality, I guess, which, like, and I don't like those kinds of games. Like, I can get down with a 2D roguelike. I will play Dead Cells until I am sick in the face. But I know I'm going to die in that. And I know Dark Souls is similar, but it seems like it's just so frustratingly difficult. Like I've dumped 7-8 hours into the original Dark Souls to try to like it. And it's not for me, which is fine. But obviously, like you're saying, like, but you want to know the lore in the game, and I get that. But that's where it's just basically, well, I guess I'm let's play in this one.
Yeah, I've watched someone stream Dark Souls, but like they just make it look so easy, and then it just makes me feel like shit about myself, and like I don't need extra insecurity, you know? Like like why can't they just make an easy mode? And then I saw somebody on Twitter the other day say, oh well, the type of build you choose is the difficulty settings. It's like that's literally
play style. That's different.
When I tried to play Bloodborne, I picked the one that is supposed to be the easy mode build. I did, and I couldn't get past like the first 30 minutes. God, it just pisses me off so much because everybody's like, Bloodborne's my favorite game of all time, and it's like I don't even have the ability to play it. Like,
I mean,
like why can't I do it? I don't understand.
I know there's story and lore to those games, but they're not like that. Those games aren't made like you can. This is my hot take on this. Like, I don't think those games, they're not story driven. It doesn't matter. You can play the entirety of Dark Souls and just go and kill all the bosses, and you will not know shit. You can do the same thing in any of those games and play through them, and you're not going to learn anything if you're not, like, you have to, like, very much pay attention and find every little scrap of paper and, like, put together, like, the lore is buried in those for a reason, in my opinion, because that's not the point of those games. The point of those games is to make somebody was trying to make a really fucking hard game that is going to make people, like, really have to work for it. And
yeah, but what about Elden Ring whenever that comes out?
Is it going to be like that? I have no clue. Like, but like you're saying, with that, because George R.R. Martin's attached, and I genuinely really enjoyed 7 out of 8 seasons of Game of Thrones and read all the books and love it. Looking forward to the next book.
I enjoyed every single one of the book, even the 4th 1, which is
books are great. Books are great. Loved it. There's things in the books that I wish was in the show, etc. I'm not going to go into that, but it's just that I would love to be easier, but I'm not expecting it to be. If it's an Elder, like you and I have talked about, I purposely didn't play Fallen Jedi because I thought it was a Souls game, and I just said, nope, not me. I'm not doing it. I don't have the patience for that. I know I can. I don't want to have to learn that system. See, I'd rather play a game where I can play how I prefer a game that lets me play to my strengths and play to my play style. Like Dishonored is a perfect example of a great first-person game where you can be sneaky, or you can just run around and murder everything. Like, you play how you want to. And that's much preferred.
Check that game out. But you really ought to give Jedi Fallen Order a shot. It's not that bad. If I could do it, you can do it. There was nothing that was like brutally difficult, and that was with me putting it on Padawan mode or whatever. So I was like,
will get there.
I was just able to kind of like cheese through it, like spamming buttons. There was a couple of like boss fights or whatever that I had to do like a couple times, but I just don't have the reaction speed that like is needed to be good at any video game, really. So for like puzzle games, I can do okay at puzzle games because you just take your time.
Turn-based RPGs doesn't matter.
RPGs where it doesn't matter.
That's why I like
Pokemon,
those. I don't have to worry about. I don't have to take too quick. I'm like, oh wait, I can take my time. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm over here like Kyle. I cannot tell you how many times I've failed the QTEs in like the beginning of Avengers. It's that bad. Yeah. I cannot pass quick time events. It is that bad.
Don't ever play Lollipop Chainsaw then, because the very end of that is totally quick time events, and man, love that stupid game. So much fun.
What the hell is Lollipop Chainsaw?
Oh, I think that might be a Suda 51 game.
That'd be a good Retro and 3 video.
I don't have my copy for 360 anymore. God, that game is fun. Yeah, it was a Suda 51 game. You played as basically it was like Buffy the Zombie Slayer. It's such trash. I love it. It was fun.
Okay, well, speaking of things that are fun that will not be happening this year, I guess. So I'm just gonna explain kind of how this happened. PlayStation came out earlier this week and said that they're not doing any in-person sales of consoles on launch day. Because they don't want people lining up in front of Best Buy and GameStop, Walmart, trying to get a PS5 on day one when there's only 10 of them or whatever. So they don't want to be responsible for like super spreader events or whatever.
Yep.
And then I think Best Buy came out and said, well, we're not going to do it for the Series X either. And then I think all the rest of the companies just kind of followed suit. I don't think it was Xbox that said that they're not allowing any in-person sales. I think it was kind of the company said, well, if we're not doing it, we can't do it for the PlayStation 5, we might as well not do it for the Series X. Could be wrong about that, but PlayStation definitely started it. It probably would have looked pretty bad if Xbox had been like, yeah, well, we're still gonna do it. Like, have fun catching coronavirus over the Xbox. So I went to GameStop on Friday, as I do most Fridays, because I am a nerd. It's just fun to sit in there and watch the employees not know how to answer questions that I know the answer to. I love it. Like, oh, Mike, you'll get a kick out of this. This is kind of off subject, but I promise it matters. Mike, you're going to love this. I was at GameStop on Friday, and I was waiting in line, and the manager, who I love, he was checking some guy out, and this guy was talking to the manager about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And he was like, oh, well, does it have any multiplayer in it? And the store manager was like, I don't really know about that. He's like, I don't really play any of the Assassin's Creed games, so I'm not sure if it has multiplayer or not. And I was almost like, bruh, have I got a podcast for you?
Oh, man. Yeah. Let's just start a whole podcast on Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Let's just do that.
I don't know why they won't do it. It's a slam dunk. I thought about you when I was like, listen to this guy. I was like, this poor bastard. I was
He's going to be
almost like,
severely disappointed with that game.
Like, well, I guess we can play this together, Billy. Oh. I guess I'm going to have to do these Viking drinking challenges by myself. It seems like a definite multiplayer option that could be here. Well, okay, I guess not. Maybe we can go kill each other in this field.
I was at GameStop, and I was talking to this employee that I had never met before, which is weird because I know almost everybody that works there. As a matter of fact, they offered me a job there last Christmas. They're like, hey, do you work full time? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, oh man, I was going to offer you a job. That literally happened. Like, in there a lot. Super knowledgeable. I know more than all the employees combined. Anyways, enough of tooting my own horn. Back to the story. Sorry, literally like 10 minutes ago, I was just like ragging on myself for being dog shit terrible at video games, but like at least I know a lot about them.
If GameStop
let me know in the
can
comments
match
if
Katie's-
you. Let me know in the comments if you
GameStop
think
can
I don't know
match-
anything about video games. Yeah, if
they-
GameStop can match my salary,
match your
yeah,
salary.
sure.
She's gone.
Are you going to be like
And
the
I
new
am too.
dance coordinator next year when they turn them into fucking mini bars?
He was like, oh, well, about that. And I know he was about to go into like a lecture about how they don't have any available. And I was like, no, don't worry. I already have pre-orders. Like, that's not the issue. And he's like, oh, okay, thank God. And I guess they like have been cussed out a lot because people are coming in there and like are upset that they don't have more pre-orders, like as if it's their fault. Anyways, people suck.
Oh, Karens of the world.
Yes. But I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, I was about to say we're not going to have any physical or any copies in store, we're not going to have any available in store. And I was like, yeah, I know. I saw where like PlayStation said they're not going to do any in-person sales. And I was like, as if people lining up at 9 a.m. in front of this store to get the Series X pre-orders and was any less safe than them lining up on day of. And he was like, yeah, haha. And then I was like, but they were like, oh, we're not doing any sort of like midnight release or anything. I was like, why? There's only 10 people that got pre-orders. It's like, that's not even the capacity on the store is 15 people. It could be like everybody that has the pre-orders all hanging out together inside the GameStop at midnight. Like, that'd be totally cool, right? But he wasn't having that, so now I have to go pick him up at 10 a.m.
So, but you're not going to see any of these in the wild is the point of...
Yeah.
So
Yep.
You will not
There
see...
will be some available on launch day, but they will not be physically available on launch day. You'll have to order them on the internets.
But some places will still do in-store pickup, curbside pickup, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you won't be able to physically go in and say, I want that Xbox Series X, and pick it up and buy it. Until 2021, which...
Yeah, so who knows? Who
understandable.
knows when they'll be available in stores? I guess when they stop selling out,
I'll be
they'll
after
start
Christmas.
put them in stores. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I guarantee those are just so like
For
hotcakes
sure.
for Christmas.
Man, what a time to be alive. I'm so excited for this coming week. I cannot wait. Like, but I will say Xbox tweeted out, they said, so what are you guys going to be playing on November 10th? And I was like, wait. What am I going to play on November 10th? I don't know.
So, you still don't know?
I do. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna get Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know if I want to play it. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game besides the multiplayer on Black Flag with you guys, and I know that.
That's all we play too.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yes, there is a comprehensive story and all that crap, but I
Yeah, I
don't
kind of
think
get.
it
Yeah,
matters
you
anymore.
like. Yeah.
Like, it's
the
not
thing
like the
is-
Ezio trilogy. Those
Yeah, I'm
matter.
not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not concerned about like there not being a story that I understand, but I am concerned that like I'm not entirely sure if the gameplay is going to click with me. I'm just like, do I really want to spend 4 hours on November 10th playing this game just to realize I don't really care for it and then like have to pick another game to try to play? You know, It's just a weird situation to be in. Like, why is there no launch titles?
Because COVID. I mean, it seems like everything's getting delayed, but that's may not happen regardless of that, right?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't even know what I'm complaining about. I would not have played Halo Infinite day one either. Halo is not my cup of tea. Like,
but Halo Infinite sounds like, from speculation, sounds like it's going to not truly be a Halo game. Like, it's going to be more of a Destiny. Unless I'm misunderstanding that, but...
I think that you are.
Okay.
Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play.
Oh. Got it.
But it's going to be similar to older Halo multiplayers. And then the campaign is not going to be free to play, but it's going to be on Game Pass, so it might as well be free. And that's, they just lost another studio head or something over there. Like, tons of development issues on that game. But that's, a topic for another day. And the reason we haven't really talked about that yet is because none of us really care about Halo. Right?
I mean, I played the old ones, they were fine, but I'm not dying to go play Halo multiplayer. I'm not a PvP person, so.
Yeah, like Kyle, as someone who is not in a hurry to get a Series X, would Halo being available day one have made you want to get?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
Like,
No.
What could Xbox have offered day one to make you want to get the system day one?
Cyberpunk is a good seller for me. That is that if that had been an option, but because I can just get it on my Xbox One S, I can just play it on there, and I know it's not going to be the prettiest. Load times are going to suck, but at least I can play it. I have the capacity to play it, so that's good. I could play it on my PC as well. Like I have the ability to play that game, so it's not like there is no true thing. And I can't think of a Microsoft exclusive of all their exclusives that would make me want it versus Miles Morales is tempting. The PS5, I love Spider-Man, and Mike and I, big MCU nerds, big Marvel guys, so.
Well, PlayStation in general has probably, I could count 6 titles, off the top of my head, that would make me want to buy a new console for, exclusives. And Xbox has 0.
Yet you chose to buy an Xbox Series X instead of a PS5.
Game Pass.
Right. Because I play on an Xbox every night with my friends who don't have PlayStations.
Yeah. It's
so
multiplayer.
I'd rather have it.
Yeah. I am super excited about Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm super excited about Horizon Forbidden West whenever it comes out. I'm less excited than most about God of War 2 or whatever it's going to be called. I didn't get very far in their first God of War, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. Everybody says it's the best game, the game of the generation, and I liked it, but it was not, I didn't love it. I much preferred Horizon Zero Dawn, which I know neither of you have played, right?
I've played the beginning of Horizon. I've played 30 minutes of Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's just lack of time on my part to jump into such a
daunting
big game. And I was like, man, it's been on my list of PS4, but there's still a ton of crap I haven't played on the PS4. I haven't played the Final Fantasy VII remake yet. I will at some point, but I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan, but
it'll be on Xbox in March probably.
Because
it was only a year-long exclusivity deal. Is time exclusive.
And that's, and like I said, Last of Us 2, definitely, if they said Last of Us 3 is coming out, it's going to be on PS5, sure, I'm in. As soon as that's there, I mean, there's certain franchises that definitely would. But yeah, God of War, I never really got into those. So like,
What about an actual Spider-Man 2?
I haven't finished the first one, but the Miles Morales is enough for me to go there, because personally, I would much rather they just jump around and go into the multiverse. Like,
Yeah.
keep on doing. Give me a Spider-Man 2099. Holy crap, please. Like, right?
How have you not finished the first one?
I haven't finished
Hurricane.
either.
What? I know. That's what I
lost
did
power.
with. I did too.
Oh
I had a
my-
generator,
no,
and I played.
Yeah,
I
and I-
have
the
to hook my
generator
whole
runs the
house
fridge
up to the
anyway.
generator.
I bought a generator just to play Spider-Man when the power was out.
It's
Because I didn't have
I was
internet.
conserving it to run that, but yeah, no. I just never got back to it. I need to go back.
I never
and finish
finished it either, but the reason I didn't
Well,
finish
dug
is
it.
because we made it all the way to the final door where they're like, warning, this is the final door. If you
yeah.
want to get any of the other collectibles, go back and do that now. And we're like, yeah, we're going to go back and get all the collectibles. And then it was like, no, we're not. Because it's just
As soon
too
as
much.
you kill that last dragon,
Especially
because
because it's like, yeah, because it was like me and my boyfriend like playing together, and he's obviously better at the combat because he's just better at video games in general, but he doesn't have the patience to go do like the little Harry Osborn missions, and so I would go do those. But then he's like, I don't want you to play it without me because I still want to see all of it. But he also doesn't want to watch me play video games. So it was kind of like, so when
Yeah.
are we going to do this? He's like never going to be in the mood for us to finish it. And at this point, we're just going to wait and like replay the whole remastered version that comes with Miles Morales. So
yeah, and
we're going to be
like,
swinging on the PS5 for
that's a smart move on their part. I think
Hours.
that's a good, like, I think PS5 will sell better for Miles Morales having a launch title, like having a legit. Well, is it quite launch or is it after launch?
it's launch.
It's launch. Okay.
Launch day.
See,
Thursday night.
that's a killer IP to have, man. Like that's tough. And you know,
I know.
Nintendo has their own killer IPs, but Nintendo's not fighting them anymore. I think Nintendo's just like, we got our niche. It's fine. You guys do you. We got us. Like,
So you think that for the next Microsoft big launch in 8 years, when they make their next big whatever, their Bethesda pickups and all of these are going to allow them to have launch titles again?
bro,
hope so.
if you're launching with an exclusive like Fallout on Xbox PC only, yeah, I mean that's. Or even just like, let's just say for sake of argument, they're like Fallout 3 remastered, like whatever they do. I mean, with that thing, like we're making a Fallout 3 remaster, we've gone back, optimized, fixed all the quest bugs, etc. You know, all these quality of life patches, yada yada. But see, a lot of that stuff is weird because it's so heavily modded in the PC community that it doesn't really matter. Those quality of lives are already there. There already is a remaster of it if you want to go play it.
Yeah.
So it's not as.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't work, but.
But yeah, like Fallout 8 or whatever.
Maybe they'll put Brotherhood of
Yeah.
Steel out there for everybody.
Fallout. Well, we just had 4, so the next one will be 5, but that's not coming out until after Elder Scrolls 6. So then it'll probably be Fallout 5 will probably be a launch title for the next gen.
Well, now that they own Bethesda and Obsidian, maybe Obsidian can make Fallout New Vegas too. I mean,
I would legitimately die of happiness if that happened. Like, I don't. Sometimes I just think about New Vegas and I just smile.
on
a
that
gem.
note, there are rumors coming out of Japan that Xbox is continuing to meet with Japanese studios, big and small, about acquisitions. So it's all rumors and speculation, but I mean, it is coming from Bloomberg, so it's pretty reliable source, and it's not surprising. I mean, dude, get your ducks in a row, because they don't have this. They don't have Naughty Dog cranking out amazing IPs for them.
Well, the Japanese studio is kind of more of like so they can appeal to the Japanese audience where they just don't really have a market over there.
Yeah, I get that. That's a different
I think,
thing.
yeah. This goes back to what we were talking about last week about like Xbox identifying their weaknesses and trying to work on them. So buying Japanese studios to get the Japanese audience, and then like buying Bethesda to focus on their single player experiences.
Yeah. Makes sense,
You know
man.
who they should buy? You know who they should buy?
Sega.
Sega. And you know who Sega owns?
Sonic.
Atlas.
I don't think I knew that.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Not that that was applicable in that situation at all. So Sega asked 650 employees to voluntarily retire and cuts executive salaries. They also are selling their arcade businesses to another group.
That's heartbreaking. They're giving it up.
Well,
arcade.
it's like they're not real. It's like a quasi sale thing where they're selling. I don't have that article handy, but I think that was in the news last week actually.
Okay, that's not part of this one, but yeah.
No, they are. They sold it to another group, but they're still going to have Sega IPs in the arcade machines. And obviously, there's no Sega arcades here, but in Japan, that's a big thing still.
Oh yeah.
And China too, I believe. I remember some of our coworkers that are from China talking about skipping school and going to the arcades. Still.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So, and then now they're saying that COVID-19 is causing them to have a structural reform. And this is what's happening. They're cutting 650 full-time and contract employees who are being asked to voluntarily retire by the 28th of February 2021. And the people who take that option will receive a payment of extraordinary retirement allowances and re-employment support. And the company's representative director monthly salary will cut by 30%. Senior executive vice president and senior vice president are getting 20 and 10% monthly cuts respectively. So we expect to record approximately 10 billion yen as extraordinary losses this fiscal year ending in March 2021.
Yeah, structural reform expenses. So it's not that they're losing money. It's not that they're losing $10 billion or 10 billion yen. It's just due to internal restructuring stuff. They're losing that money, right? That seems like how it reads.
So they put all their bets on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie this past year, right?
Which was good.
It was actually good. Yeah, it really.
And
they had that song with Wiz Khalifa at the end.
It was fine.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, how much money did they have to spend?
They spent
Sonic?
10 million yen on fixing Sonic.
They lost. Like, sorry everybody. We had to redo Sonic because we pissed off the internet. So now you have to retire early.
Yes.
You know, I felt so bad. It was like, we have to go see this movie in theaters because I roasted Sonic so hard on the internet. Like, I was part of the reason that they spent how much money to fix him. I mean, I don't know why they thought it was smart to make him look like that in the first place. Like, how did that make it out of focus group? But like,
that's what it, like, that looks just like Sonic. Did that kid say Sonic? Yeah, it's probably okay, right? Let that a red flag. Well, I like is re-employment support. They like teach him how to make chili dogs and sell them at like the Sonic chili dog vendors in Japan.
I have no idea what re-employment support
No,
is.
I'm sure it's just
It's
like,
not
we'll give you a letter of recommendation.
It's not a very American phrase. Re-employment support.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just a bad translator. It doesn't translate into a thing because it made me think about if it's. I wonder if it's like re-education or because sometimes when like some companies close down, they'll be like, "Hey, you can have double employment or unemployment, and we'll pay for you to go get a degree somewhere." Like situations like that can occur when places shut down like this. So This obviously isn't shutting down. It's them asking, because it's asking to take retirement. It's not that they're firing anybody. It's that they're saying, if you're retired by like the 28th of February next year, it'd be really cool.
Okay, yeah, so here's the thing about Sega announces that they're selling off its arcade business. Yep. Damn. Extraordinary loss. Damn, that's a lot of money. I mean, 10 billion yen is like $750 million or something like that.
I mean, I don't know. Sega's been doing pretty good since they got out of the hardware game. Like, comparatively, like, they've at least been doing well every year. Like, them selling games, just being a games developer and publisher, seems to have worked out better for them. But I wonder if maybe they're finally starting to kind of fall off.
I mean, they won't put Persona 5 or Persona 5 Scramble on the Switch in the US, and that's free money right there.
Gimme.
Free money.
Yeah, Scramble's probably not coming now, I hear. Like, rumors are, like, there's no plans for localization, which... whatever, I don't need to play Scramble. That's just going to be an action RPG. That's just going to be an action-y game, but gimme Royal.
It's got like a story continuation, though. It's like, yes. I don't really care for that style of games, but I'll play it for the story continuation because I miss those characters,
Those games are fun in their own right. The Dragon Quest Warrior games are insanely fun. But it's the Dynasty Warriors mechanic of just you fighting a bazillion things is fun. Can be fun.
Well, Kyle, you played Breath of the Wild, right?
I have.
Are you going to play the... whatever the fucking...
Oh, the
Warriors...
Age of Calamity.
Game?
The Age of Calamity Warriors game?
Yes.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, those games are fun, but every time I play one, it's like 10, maybe 10 hours in, if I even get that far into it, and I'm just done, because it's the same thing over and over again. Like, they're fun, but it's just, they don't scratch an itch for me anymore. Like, they're fun.
The only one
but
I tried to play is Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
Which is probably a mistake because I don't really have any emotions tied to those Fire Emblem characters, and the gameplay is just not really there for me. But I'm like back and forth on Age of Calamity because it's like part of me is like, oh, just wait for it to go on sale, and then I remember that Nintendo first party games don't go on sale. So there's no point in not getting it, especially since it's not coming out the same day as Cyberpunk anymore. There's a demo I should really play. I should check that out. Because, I mean, but the thing is, it's a prequel. So it's like, it's gonna be sad. Like, do I want to torture myself through that? Probably not.
Yeah, I was just trying to think canon for Breath of the Wild. The Zelda games get wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. With the canon of all those games together.
So just ignore every other Zelda game except for Breath of the Wild. But it's like, it's gonna take place like during like the battle,
Age of
like
Calamity,
with Calamity Ganon and with like all the heroes and the fucking mechanical beast that I can't remember the name of, and Impa as a young lady, and then the little girl. What's her name?
Zelda?
The one that aged backwards. No,
I was gonna say that.
Starts with a P.
I can't remember. Most of my Breath of the Wild was me running around murdering things, and it's been a while.
New PS5 feature that we probably should have talked about when we were talking about PS5 stuff, but whatever. Accolades. You can give strangers recognition. I almost said recognition for some reason. Recognition for being good sports and shit. You can't give it to your friends, but basically what it is if you're in an online match and somebody's being an upstanding citizen, you can give them like thumbs up, and it stays on their PS5 profile so that other people can see it, and they're like, oh man, I'm glad this person's got accolades. They seem like a good teammate.
Yeah.
Opposite, you can't give them a thumbs down, right? If they're being dicks.
I think you just report them.
Report them like we always have.
Yeah. This is good. I'm glad that PlayStation is taking steps to kind of combat the toxic online video game culture. Especially as a lady gamer. I think this is good because well, I won't say it's good. I'm going to say it's not bad. Because here's the thing, like, I would never feel comfortable joining an online game with strangers where I had to use my mic. Because the second they find out I'm a girl, everybody's mind just goes to a different place. And most of the time they're right, because they're going to be like, oh, this is a girl, she's going to be terrible. And that happens to be true in my case. But that doesn't have anything to do with me being a girl. There are plenty of girls that are amazing at video games.
Yes.
I'm just not one of them. And, you know, like Avengers, for instance. I would have loved to been able to, like, play some of that online whenever you guys weren't available to play. But I am not going to join one of those matches with a stranger because I don't feel like I can effectively communicate with a stranger without the mic. And I wasn't going to jump on mics with a stranger. Because it just... I mean, like... It's like, obviously not everybody would be, like, a douche to me because I'm a girl, but, like, the chances of me getting, like, some 13-year-old that's like, oh, you stupid bitch, blah, 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 and, like, you know, just saying, like, hateful, sexist shit and all this stuff. Like, I'm just not gonna put myself in that situation. It's fine because I don't play a whole lot of online games anyways. But, you know, any steps that Xbox or PlayStation can make to make games more inviting for females and also for players of color are good. And I think that I don't think this is enough. I think PlayStation has more that they can do, but it's not bad. If I see somebody with an accolade, and I'll be like, okay, this person's probably not going to be sexist towards me. But I don't, like, can you, like, limit, like, only giving matchups with people with accolades or something? Like, other than that, like, what is it? Just, like, a bad, like, congrats on not being a douche. Like, is that it, you know?
It seems like it's that. I mean, because the three that they have up here is basically helpful, welcoming, and a good sport. Where helpful is, you know, generous, effective, communicating, team-oriented. Welcoming is accepting of others, open, friendly, and a good sport is just positive, honorable, and respectful. So I could see that giving these badges is good. Like, and I've played with randos most of my adult life, and I typically don't use a headset in game. Like, I'll talk to Mike, I'll talk to Katie when we're playing something together, but like most of the time, like, a lot of the games that I prefer to play have enough in-game communications built, like for pinging things and doing that kind of stuff. And certain games like Vermintide 2, which I've played, I know how to play it, I know what I'm doing. Most of the people I'm playing with when I jump into games know what they're doing, and you can communicate well in that particular game without, you could just, there's cues and things you can do in that game to communicate without talking to each other. But obviously,
or direct message.
Direct messaging, yeah, you don't have to do that. You can literally in game say, hey, we looking for these books, hey, we doing this, just quick emotes that you can do to communicate with each other. I feel like those have gotten better over time. It depends on what game you're playing, but like Portal 2 co-op, you're not going to play that with a rando without talking to them. You're going to have, like, that's not a game that you can play well. Like, that involves some precision communication.
Overcooked 2.
Overcooked 2 is not a game you will play with randos online and do well.
And not talk to them.
Well, but I think that's the thing, too, is, you know, for somebody, maybe it was the first time they're playing with somebody new. or it's a first time for playing with person. I could see like they're like, oh, that person was a good sport. I should probably give them an accolade or whatever. I could like there's a positive, and I could see that. But I also feel like it varies from player to player and like how you deal with it. Like if I'm jumping online to play a game. Like I'm gonna play the game, whatever. Like I'm not jumping on to make new friends. I'm not jumping on like I want to play with other people, sure, and eventually I may end up playing with the same person over and over and over again. We become Xbox friends, whatever, like that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna be like, your best friend, we're not gonna talk and like voice chat every day. Like that's probably not going to happen because that's not what I'm looking for. And maybe that's something they can do. But I know like Xbox had a pretty good looking for game group things, right? Like there is looking for groups features on Xbox integrated into the Xbox experience where like those kinds of things too. So if you really are looking for people to play with and those kind of experiences, like, hey, look for somebody. And a lot of them have those kinds of things like mics only, blah, 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 this, that, like depending on which group it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Kyle. The first time that we were before Borderlands 3 came out, but I just wanted to test out some stuff like with my new Xbox. I didn't really have a headset yet, and I was like, "Let's play some Borderlands 2" because it's on Game Pass. And I was like trying to like text you, and you were on the mic, so I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me back, and so I was just like texting you the stuff I wanted to tell you, and it was like terrible. I just you remember that?
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, oops, I made a new character and I'm going to die everywhere you go. And it's just like...
Oh, yeah.
There was that one level where we just kept going in circles.
Yeah, and it was me jumping into Borderlands 2, not having played in a very, very
And it was my
long
first time, yeah.
Yeah, and the scaling's not good on that one. Whereas 3, they did a great job with scaling where you can play with 3 very different levels and everybody's just experiencing it in their own way, which works and is good for those games. They all need to be like that. But I do remember that.
And then I found out that you could just use the Xbox app as your voice chat game changer. And now I just have a real headset like a real gamer. Man. All right, Kyle, I guess we'll wrap this one up with a segment we're calling Kyle's Neat Things.
I only got one neat thing this week, but this is a pretty neat thing. I'm a big fan of game demos, especially for great games, and Dragon Quest XI is getting a definitive edition that's coming out, and with that definitive edition that will be on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and the Switch also has the same thing, where you can play 10-hour demo of the game. 10-hour demo of the game. If you decide to purchase the game, you can transfer that save file that you've created on there, and it is system to system. It's you can't like play on Switch, transfer over to Xbox. It's nothing like that. But 10 hours is enough of this game that you're going to get a big chunk of that game. And if you loved old JRPGs, absolutely, it's great. The definitive edition actually has this really great feature where you can switch it over to a 16-bit mode at any time during the game. And it's kind of interesting because if you prefer those old 16-bit games, you could play the entire game in that mode. And it's gorgeous and beautiful, and the pixels look, everything looks great. It's absolutely pretty. But it's just, it's the same game, different delivery method. But absolutely worth it. I highly recommend anybody. I personally play it on my Switch. I absolutely love that game on a Switch. As I've said, JRPGs in the Switch are just peanut butter and jelly. It's perfect. It is just such a great combination to be able to lay in bed, lay on the couch, and games that take a lot of mindless grinding. Perfect system for those. But
yeah, I have this game on Switch. And we haven't played it. Just another one of those. But yeah, because the Switch version's been out for like a year, I want to say at least. And I remember like them talking about this 10-hour demo when that was coming out, and it was like, it's so awesome. You can play the demo and then you could just switch it over to your game, and you don't have to like start all over again. And it's like those 10 hours aren't wasted. And it's like somebody else did a demo recently that was like that, and I was like, this is cool.
Every demo should be like that. It's stupid not to do that, not to save your run or whatever, or save your run and then give you the option to replay it whenever, but not force you to replay it whenever you purchase the actual game. I played the Tony Hawk demo. is a completely separate entity than the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 game. It was 2 separate downloads, I think.
Yep.
and
The Avengers demo. Oh my god.
I made so much cash just skating in the warehouse. You know, not really anything for the campaign of the game, the demo, but you know, I could have went in there and immediately started buying boards or little things like that. You know, so I didn't think that I wasted weeks playing the demo. You know, waiting to hold me over for the game. That would have just something little like that.
This is why I
The
don't
Avengers
like playing the
demo was
warehouse
bad.
with you.
The Avengers demo, I think it was because it was technically a beta and not a demo. But oh
Beta's
my god,
different.
that thing. But it was the same fucking game. They didn't change shit.
Yeah,
and it was like parts of like the intro. Did you play the demo at all or the
beta?
Or the beta?
No, I did not play the beta. No, but
I did because I wasn't sure if I wanted to actually buy the game or not.
Yeah.
But it was like if you pre-order it at GameStop, you could get the demo like 2 weeks before the game came out. And it was like always a beta, like whatever, same fucking thing. Well, it's not the same thing, but for the purpose of this, it was a demo disguised as a beta. Because I feel like for a beta, it's like, here's the game, please provide us feedback. But this one was just like, here's the game, rank that mission from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
That's not like real feedback. You know, because it was like if you gave it a 1, there was no like, oh well, why did you feel that way? Like it was, but anyways, so that fucking bridge scene with all the QTEs that I was talking about earlier that I failed, and like we've seen this scene like at E3 last year, at E3 the year before that, like keep showing us the fucking bridge scene, and it's not fun. It was okay the first time I played it. Second time I played it, when I started the real game, like I was like, this is trash. Can we please just get through this? And then they make you play the same mission again, like where you're like Bruce Banner and Kamala, like going through the woods and like the Pacific Northwest trying to find the fucking thing, and it's like the first mission, and you gotta play as the Hulk, who I fucking hated playing as the Hulk, and it was just a terrible. You had to fight Killer Croc again. Wait, is
Abomination.
Wait,
Abomination.
Yeah, sorry.
Mike and I are both like, that Killer Croc.
That's not
Killer
instant.
Croc's DC. Yeah, my bad. My bad. We're a DC household over here. Sorry.
There is no better. DC and Marvel have their own merits. There is no better. It's okay. You can love both. I love both equally as wonderfully as much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode of NixCast. It ran a little long today. We got a little off topic a little bit. You can follow us on Twitter at NixGIG or on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/NixGIG, right?
Try it.
Yeah. Search NixGIG on Twitch. It'll come up probably. We're hoping to get some more streaming in soon. And start doing that a little more regularly, and also posting our videos almost daily. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If not, let us know in the comments. If you did enjoy it, leave us a like. Let us know where you think we could improve. If it's not talking about Marvel vs. DC ever again, then let us know in the comments. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful week filled with NixGIG Gaming. Stay tuned for next week's exciting episode where Mike and I talk about our brand new systems and Kyle cries in the corner.
It'll be that corner.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.